Okay, so we're going to do a part 3 of When Tables Turn. So yesterday we left off with Jessica realizing that she was confused. She didn't know how her boss knew something, but then her boss confirmed that it was never her who sent the emails. So who sent the emails? Guess we'll find out. Jessica got up from her desk and she looked at her boss, and her boss looked at her, and she nervously said goodbye, and she headed out towards the exit to go to Walgreens to go pick up her boss some sanitary stuff. So she gets to Walgreens. She looks around and she looks for the right aisle to go down, and before she can even get down the aisle, she saw Michael. But he was with his family, or a woman and some children, so she quite naturally just assumed it was his family. She tried to avoid seeing him, so she tried to hurry up and go into another aisle, but before she could do that, he looked up and he saw her too. His eyes got big, but she goes into the other aisle, and so Michael looks over to his wife, and he said, "Hey," he said, "Barbara, he said, give me a minute." He said, "I know this young lady. I used to work with her." He said, "I just want to say hello. I haven't seen her in a while." So Barbara and the kids walked over to another aisle, and she said, "Well, I'll meet you over at the register, honey, and I just want to check out what's in this aisle, and I'll meet you there." Yeah, sure. He said, "I'll see you guys in a minute." So Michael walks over to the aisle where Jessica was, and he walks right up to her, and he looks at her. He said, "Jessica," and she looks up and, "Hi, Michael. It's kind of odd seeing you here. What are you doing here?" "Well, it's Walgreens." He said, "I live up the street. This is my neighborhood." "This is your neighborhood?" "Yes, I live maybe a few buildings away." "Oh, okay. I have work not too far from here. I'm just picking up something for my boss, and yeah." "Is that your family?" Yeah, that's my wife, and those are my 2 children. How long have you been married?" "Maybe 16 years now." "Wow. I guess we all have our secret lives, right?" Nervously. He said, yeah. He said, but he said, "Look, I would like to see you again. Is that possible?" "Michael, that was something. Look, I would like to see you again." Michael pulls out his card from his pocket and he hands it to Jessica. Without her better judgment, Jessica grabbed it and she slid it in her purse. And she swallowed really hard, and Michael said, "You're beautiful." He said, "You're beautiful in the daytime too." He said, "Look, use that number." He said, "We should connect." He said, "There's something I need to talk to you about." "Okay. Is it important?" It just might be. It just might be. Okay. Maybe I'll give you a call later today or tomorrow. Yeah, that'll work. Anytime. I'm always available for you, Jessica. Jessica was a little bit taken aback by his availability for her. She didn't know. She just met him, but yet he was available and in a way that she didn't understand. So Jessica grabbed a box of sanitary products for her boss, and she just decided to go with the ones with all the sizes so that there's no confusion by the time she got back. So she looked over at Michael. Michael was walking back into the direction of his family, and so something felt odd to Jessica because what's the coincidence of her coming to Walgreens at the same time that Michael was there with his family? What is the coincidence that her boss would send her here at this particular time? It was something about that just didn't sit right with Jessica. Even though her boss had told her that she didn't send that email, something told her that it wasn't true. So Jessica walked back into the building and walked in with confidence this time because she knew that something was being played. Some kind of game was being played on her. And for whatever reason, they wanted her to react. And so she told herself to stay calm. Stay calm. So she closed her eyes and she walked back into the office, and everybody was staring at her. And Jessica looked around and she smiled at everyone, and everyone just kind of diverted their eyes from her as if they were shamed for her. So Jessica walked on into her boss's office, and Margaret, here you are. She said, "Oh, thank you, Jessica. I really appreciate it. Jessica, can you do me a favor?" "Sure, Margaret. Close the door and do me a favor and have a seat." Jessica drew a bit of concern, and she turned around and closed the door, and then she sat down, and she looked Margaret right in her eyes, and she said, "Yes, Margaret, how can I help you?" She said, I had one of the girls come to me, and something disturbing about what was on your computer earlier today, and I just want to know from you, from your words, what was it? I mean, it was some very alarming things, Margaret, and it was sent from your email, so I was very confused. Okay, sorry, I was interrupted by a phone call. Okay, so Jessica sat there across from her boss, and her boss had mentioned that one of her team members had said that they'd seen something explicit, and she wanted to know from Jessica's own words what exactly it was. So Jessica looked her in the eye and she said, "Margaret, there was an email from you that of my ring and me holding a person that I had an interaction with, and then another interaction that I had." And Margaret said, "Okay, but I looked through my whole entire computer, Jessica, and there's nothing there that indicates that there was an email sent to you from my computer." She said, "Even the deleted files doesn't indicate that." Jessica was baffled, and she said, "Well, I'm not sure what's going on." She said, "I deleted it, the messages, and hopefully moving forward, something like that never happens again, because that was on my personal time, and I don't know how it got here and who got privy to that information of me even being there." "Yeah, that's very confusing, Jessica, and I'm so sorry that you're going through that," she said, "but even so, because of the details," Jessica looked, she said, "What are you doing, Margaret? Are you letting me go?" "Well, no, we just want to further investigate, and until we get we just need to suspend you for a few days until we figure out how we want to proceed." "What? But what proof do you have? What did I do? I didn't do anything." I know. "I'll get back to you in a few days, Jessica. It should take about 3 days, okay?"